And speaking of coming out the other end, that's a good transition. The Vince McMahon Netflix thing, by the time the people hear this, will have been flung upon the world, but it's still what 36 hours away from us. So we are going to be trying to cover this whole thing on the drive-through. 6 hours of Vince McMahon's life. We may all go to just for watching it, right? But that's your program, so you're cracking the whip on me.
I can't wait to watch this. I think it's going to be a big thing. And of course, now here ahead of it, a day ahead of it, 2 days ahead of it, Vince McMahon issuing a statement preemptively.
He's already trying to temper expectations, right?
And I believe last week, Janelle Grant's attorneys held a very short press conference just saying that, her case is real and whatever the producers do here. I think at least initially there's distrust on one side, and now it appears the distrust with the producers is coming from Vince. Let me pull up the quote here. Any comments or thoughts on that?
Well, yeah, because I said the statement that grants people sounds like we're talking about Appomattox. That Grant's attorneys put out was just kind of, hey, heads up, remember this is still an ongoing thing, and we don't know how this Netflix thing is going to turn out, or whatever, just stating their position. But then Vince actually, because they really don't. They have no reason to have discovery over anything related to that, because Vince never spoke to him after this allegation in Janelle Grant was made public. So they're in the dark, like a lot of people are that haven't actually seen the thing yet.
Well, Vince
is in it. Well, I was about to say Vince is in it, and Vince has apparently seen at least some of it. Because he's already, as you said, preemptively going, well, now, wait a minute. Go ahead.
And actually, it should be noted, because that happened before this, Dave Meltzer is saying that Vince attempted to purchase the film back from Netflix, which is something Oprah Winfrey just did. I think it was Apple, did a documentary about her. She hated the way it turned out, bought it back, suppressed it. And Vince made an attempt. Oh shit, I agreed to this. It's all gone to hell in a handbasket. I'm going to buy it back. And they wouldn't sell it back to him. And then, according to Dave Meltzer, Vince tried to get Ari Emanuel to do something about it. And nothing was done.
Well, for Vince to actually go to a big brother, that's very unusual. And now, one thing that I have been reliably informed on is that Vince did indeed sit down for this. You've seen him in the trailer. He did speak to these people, and he was in support of, or had people close to him support the thing until for not even Janelle Grant, but just the first allegation or revealment of an NDA for payments made for improper things with women. Whoever that first one was, my God, it's been so long ago, Brian. But that was when he stopped talking to these people, and I would assume the people that he would have, given the okay to talk to, they stopped talking to him. So they don't have any footage of him talking about the last couple of years, but that doesn't mean they're not going to be covering it, because they can't just leave it to a graphic at the end of the screen at the end of, episode 6. That's probably why it's taken so long from the time that we heard it was going to be coming out till it actually is out, because they found out they had a lot more fish to fry, so to speak.
And again, we're thinking about just Janelle Grant. The Rita Chatterton thing led to him paying her millions of dollars for it to go away. So now that happened after the production, there's something that I think happened in 86 or 87 that if they're telling the story in order, there will be some reference there. We don't know. But here's the statement Vince McMahon released on Twitter.
Now you're going to hurt yourself.
Sorry, I was just preparing myself.
That's what Janelle said. You're gonna hurt
Oh,
yourself.
come on, will you be nice? What the hell kind of comment is that? Let's get to this statement here.
That didn't mean she was out of shape.
I don't regret participating in this Netflix documentary. The producers had an opportunity to tell an objective story about my life and the incredible business I built, which were equally filled with excitement, drama, fun, and a fair amount of controversy and life lessons. Unfortunately, based on an early partial cut I've seen, this doc falls short and takes the predictable path of conflating the Mr. McMahon character with my true self, Vince. The title and promos alone make that evident. A lot has been misrepresented or left out entirely in an effort to leave viewers intentionally confused. The producers used typical editing tricks with out-of-context footage and dated sound bites, etc., to distort the viewer's perception and support a deceptive narrative. In an attempt to further their misleading account, the producers use a lawsuit based on an affair I ended as evidence that I am, in fact, Mr. McMahon.
And it wasn't me, it was her. She was the one in the wrong. I kicked her out.
I hope the viewer will keep an open mind and remember there are two sides to every story.
Oh, boy. So
and now Lord Alfred Hayes with updates.
Already he's pulling the editing and oh my gosh, and it's don't believe your eyes and ears and the things that people say in this. It was altered.
Are you surprised that we're getting it here just a couple days out? I mean, this is something, when pushed against the wall, he's taken to the air in the past, whether it was the steroid thing, whether it was right as it was starting up and then when he won the trial, or with the attacks on the content being Russoific and everything kind of degenerating into the late 90s period of just no class anywhere in society. He went to the airwaves and he explained that, we're not going to be old fashioned. We're going to take a new approach. And, this is something he tends to do. Are you surprised that there's no video statement? Well, probably not, but are you surprised the only statement is right now, 2 days out?
Well, see, before he had a platform, which I don't know that he's particularly welcome, at the tower, the new tower. And to be honest, I'm wondering if he knows now that he ain't got it. He ain't got the energy. He doesn't come off well. Is he finally? Because that's an awful polite statement, denial, issue muddying tweet or whatever from Vince, that the old Vince may have been more direct and in your face and fuck off and etc. Does he realize that he hadn't got the look or the energy or the voice or the wherewithal to match the old Vince? Is he trying to stay low key and nice old man?
At what point does he get Kevin Dunn to produce his own documentary about himself? I'm not even joking. What did Vince get when he sold the company? He got the rights to his name and his likeness. Not the footage, obviously, but he got a lot of rights that most people wouldn't get. And Kevin Dunn's also his biggest all-time lackey.
And he got $2 billion, so he wouldn't have to worry about financing the flick. But yeah, I and that's from a partial. I viewed a partial cut. Jesus Christ! Otherwise, the whole thing is a complete propaganda piece put together by the, Interior Department of Stalinism or whatever. But that's from a part of it I saw.
That's the thing. Focus on my business and how big I built it, not everything I did along the way. Janelle Grant's attorney, Ann Callis, no relation, issued a statement. Vince McMahon physically and emotionally abused, sexually assaulted, and human trafficked Janelle Grant for more than 2 years, calling his horrific and criminal behavior an affair is delusional and nothing more than a sad attempt to save his shredded reputation. Although Miss Grant has not seen the Mr. McMahon docuseries, we hope it shines a bright light on his abhorrent and criminal actions by accurately portraying the realities of his abusive and exploitive behavior. Miss Grant will no longer be silenced by McMahon. Her story, though deeply troubling and emotionally painful, is one that could help other abuse survivors find their voices. We seek to hold McMahon, John Laurinaitis, and WWE accountable and to give Miss Grant her day in court.
Boy, howdy, old Johnny Ace is always sandwiched right in between the big man, Alphonse, Scarface himself, and the rest of the Chicago mob, isn't he? It's like he's Frank Nitti.
He was Vince's guy, to the point where they were doing this shit together in the office. You think Johnny Ace is going to be one of the talking heads in the documentary? Up until, like, the point where Vince stopped cooperating?
I don't know, because it's Netflix, and would they want his head to talk just for the aesthetics of it?
Well, then you could point out that he's the other party accused of being a party to this.
I'm just thinking when they set him down and they closed in on the headshot for the sit-down interview, they say, "Oh, fuck that fucking face. Jesus Christ, just pass on him."
Well, the anticipation is building. This is going to be some kind of fucking documentary. Apparently, we were wrong. It's not going to be 3 a.m. It may debut at midnight, in which case we may have to push back recording. I may stay up all night.
Oh, wait, what now? Hold on now. Well, now, midnight is 3 a.m., depending on which side of the country. Which side of the country are they on?
Oh, actually,
are they on the right side or the left side?
Maybe it's 3 a.m. Eastern. Oh, I'll see it in the morning, but 6 hours? How are they going to fill up 6 hours?
There's... If there are people not only willing to tell stories about Vince McMahon, but also there are plenty of stories to tell about Vince McMahon and plenty of things to cover in his life, you could fill 6 hours. It just remains to be seen, I think, how poor Vince ultimately himself in the documentary and his rather sullied reputation or whatever they said is going to come off in the end of it.
You see, he can't talk anymore.
See, that kind of thing might work against him now, whereas before he was like Anthony Perkins, where he could talk like, even though there was a psycho in there somewhere, he could talk like an innocuous, regular, everyday person, and then he'd suddenly slap fucking Bob Costas's notebook out of his hand or whatever the fuck's going on. But now it's just he's a hunched over, grumbling old man who can, talk about the never notwithstanding. And now it's weird. It's weird.
This is great build-up for Shane McMahon's return, I think.
Well, yeah. No, he's going to AEW because that angle with the plumber ripping off an independent flick from Australia 30 years ago proves that Shane McMahon will soon be working in the fucking hell. What do you think the odds are? Something like that might happen, Brian.
Oh, those are high odds.
Those odds are so high they could even touch the sky. Well, folks, if you'd like some great odds, the odds are that I'm going to be able to tell you how that you can use the odds to your favor in making money in a way that's not very odd.
The sentence is a bit odd, but
it's
Dave. Good job, Dave. Explain that.
Well, that's why I was trying to explain how Dave Meltzer writes his copy. That's why he could never work for our friends at DraftKings Sportsbook, the app that you folks got to have an appetite for, because if you download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and you know anything about the professional sports such as the NFL, the National Football League, they're an official sportsbook partner of the NFL over at DraftKings. Well, then you can bet on the games, and you don't even have to bet who's going to win and who's going to lose. You can bet on simple stuff. Is little Johnny Piccolo going to score a touchdown in that game, Grandma? I don't know Little Willie, why don't you bet $5 on it? And then DraftKings is going to give you $200 in bonus bets. And then you can turn those over to me and I'll bet all your money. And by the time you're grown, you won't even remember me, you little prick. But anyway, if you're ready to do a touchdown dance of your own, that's what you got to do. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app, and you'll be able to just bet on things related to the football. And then, when you make your pick, you bet $5. If you use the code JCE, you get $200 in bonus bets instantly. Now, just remember, if you're only betting $5, let's say something happens, comes time Tuesday morning, 9 o'clock, the man comes around your house, you ain't got the money, he'll probably let you slide. But if you lose all that $205, including the bonus bets, well, at least a finger's getting broken.
That's not what will happen. There will be no man, because with DraftKings, you're the man, the crown is yours, and of course, you put your money up front as you're doing this. You don't.
Yes, the crown is yours, but so is your debt. So if you lose, you're going to have to pay up. And when the guy comes walking up the stairs to your flat at about 9 o'clock on Tuesday morning, like he does every week, it's a neighborhood thing.
Is this happening in England?
No, they walk up to your flat, your walk up in the tenement district, and it's 9 o'clock on Tuesday, and that's when the guy comes around the neighborhood, and that's when you pay up, or else why somebody's getting their finger broke.
All right, well, let's get.
But you can score big with DraftKings Sportsbook right now, folks. It's the #1 place to bet touchdowns. Just hopefully those people will touch down. And if you use the code JCE, then your new customers now, remember, not some of you old, worn-out old hags, but new customers are going to get $200 in bonus bets when you bet $5 only at DraftKings Sportsbook, because now you can say it, the crown is yours.
Oh, listen to that. Do that again. That was very impressive.
The crown is yours. See, that's a takeoff on Rene Goulet saying, the clown is down. When they took Doink down in Philly, and the crowd was putting the boots to him because they were mad about the delays.
Well, once again, the crown is yours. The crown is yours with DraftKings.
You got to roll the crown.
The crown.
The crown. The rain in Spain stays mainly under plain.
Well, Jim, before we get out of here, I think our friend has arrived, and we have a special friend here who always comes once a week.
Your special friend?
Our special friend. Let's get that straight.
I don't know how I feel about him.
I met this guy through you.
Well, he's not been through me.
Well, here's what he has to say to you.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort in Kansas, 21 and over, age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Void in New Hampshire, Oregon, and Ontario. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/ftball. NFL Plus Premium offer available only to new and former NFL Plus subscribers. Additional NFL Plus Premium terms at nfl.com/terms.
Well, I'll tell you, the last time he came into the studio, I reached in my back pocket to pull my wallet out and shook hands with that guy.